Welcome everybody to Red's Ramblings. I have with me today Eduardo from Brazil. I've been trying to get somebody from Brazil probably since I started this thing, and I'm going on 5, maybe 6 months at this point. So thank you very much, Eduardo, for taking the time to join me. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Okay, so my name is Eduardo Sanchez. It can't be more Latin than that, right? Sanchez. Yeah. Um, well, I'm 44 and I work with information security and privacy.
Okay.
I have 2 kids and actually one and a month girl that are
Okay.
just born, and one 11 month.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and one 11 years old boy.
Okay.
I live in Sao Paulo. I think it is the largest and the busiest city
Mhm.
in the country. But I was born in the south, Porto Alegre. My father went there to work. My mother was already pregnant, and I was born there, and we came back to Sao Paulo when I was like 3.
Mhm.
So I didn't have the time to get all the. They have a really amazing accent, and they talk kind of singing, so it's
Okay.
really nice. But I was not able to get that accent
Right.
because I came back so early.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I'm up here in America, in the States, in South Carolina, and some people say that I have a pretty Southern accent, and it bothers the hell out of me when they say that. I'm not a fan of it. When it kind of irks me when, oh, you from the South? Yeah, yeah, I am. Um, but again, thank you very much. Finally got somebody from Brazil. So yeah, I'm excited.
That's nice.
So you born and raised in Brazil. Have you been anywhere outside the country?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I've been like 15 times in the United States,
All right.
both for work and leisure.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to England,
Okay.
a lot of places in South America,
Right.
Canada, also Mexico, Panama, Chile, Argentina, Uruguay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's and England, and I've been to Ireland also, and Scotland.
Oh. Okay. All right, man. You've had a life there, sir. You have had a life.
I like to travel. It's
I
nice.
Oh yeah. I haven't been able to do it myself outside the country. I definitely plan on it. Me and my wife, we planning on our honeymoon in Scotland. So I'm assuming you had a
It's
great time over there,
it's just amazing. I've
right?
been to London, to Dublin,
Mm-hmm.
and to Edinburgh,
Okay.
and I would exchange all the time I spent in London and in Dublin to go back and stay in Edinburgh.
Really?
It's just, well, I love D&D and medieval history
Okay.
stories and stuff like that. So
Okay.
it's just amazing, the castle. And we got
Yeah.
there late, and in the day, and then we just tried to go out to eat something, to grab something to eat before we go to sleep. And then we just turned the corner and we saw up in the hill the castle all illuminated.
Right.
It's something really, really amazing. It's
Yeah.
incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. Now I've spoken with an individual from Scotland. I have a few friends that are in Ireland I've spoken to as well, and other areas over there in Europe. And it's one thing to speak, like we are, me and you are right now, and like pull up pictures, and you're in awe at just the pictures already. But then to go there and
Yeah.
feel it. I want to do it so bad.
Yeah. It's amazing when you walk it, get inside the castle, and you can imagine it being sieged. You
Right?
have that one way to go, and then it leads to a really narrow door.
Yeah.
And you can imagine the guys on top of that with arrows and and throwing stones, and
See,
it should be amazing. It should be amazing.
yeah, because I like here in America, we don't have that long of history as America. You know, a few
Yeah,
hundred years, but over there it's thousands and thousands of
exactly.
years. And yeah, you know, every kid reads about the wars like Arthur, Knights of the Round
Exactly.
Table. So yeah, you're standing in a castle and you're like, you're thinking of everything that happened there and that
Exactly.
you've heard as a child, and you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's amazing.
All right, so enough about other countries. Let's get back to Brazil. People wondering, why is he talking about Scotland? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Born and raised in Brazil, but you've like you just said, you've traveled all over pretty much. So I'm assuming you've come across a few misrepresentations that you've heard about Brazil that
Yeah.
as Brazilian are not true. Can you explain some of those?
I think mostly when I was a kid, and
Mhm.
that I have this friend from that lived down the street, and he moved to the United States and spent like a couple of years there, and then he got back. And he said that most people thought, well, this was like 25 years ago, 30 years
Right.
ago. They asked him if he would play with the monkeys and if he lived in the jungle and stuff like that. But I think that one thing that surprises most people that don't know how it really is that we actually work a lot.
Right.
I think that the image that most people get from Brazil, from Rio,
Mhm.
that it's only carnival and party and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And we actually work pretty hard. And one thing that I like to do when I have some foreigner here in Brazil is to take a ride across Avenida Paulista. It's
Okay.
it's like I would say Wall Street or the Fifth Avenue, something like that.
Okay.
So it's like uh, a mile or so with like skyscrapers both
Mhm.
sides, and a lot of modern buildings and stuff like that. So and a lot of people get amazed because they don't really know how Brazil is, and mostly how São Paulo is. Because
Right.
when you talk about Brazil, you are either talking about football, samba,
Okay.
carnival, Rio. So nobody knows. Well, this one with the red building, the
Right
big
here.
this one. This is Avenida Paulista.
Okay. This road right here.
Yes,
All
yes.
right. All
So
right.
this is MASP. It's a museum, and
Okay.
it actually has a really pretty interesting story because the whole building, it's suspended
Okay.
through these red legs that you can see.
Right.
It was most engineers, they didn't want to sign the project
Mhm.
from the architect because they thought it would not be possible to suspend a building this size this way. So and
Right.
like I think it should have like 30 years or so. And it's actually one of the biggest open space that you have with a building over it. So it's really interesting. Um, and so I think that the biggest misconception is on the actual stage of development that we have in
Mhm.
Brazil.
Mhm.
For instance, the Brazilian bank system
Okay.
is one of the most advanced in the world. We can make for like for over 20 years, you can deposit cash a check like in 2-3 hours.
Okay.
For the last 5 years, you can make wire transfers, instant wire transfers,
Mhm.
and a lot of stuff that they were actually created because we used to have a really high inflation here.
Mhm.
So you cannot wait like 2-3 days to have something cashed. So
Right.
this had to be on time.
Right.
Instantly. But I think that's it. That I think the misconception, the development of the country,
Mhm.
and one thing that it's interesting is that a lot of friends that come to Brazil. I have one special friend that he's actually Chinese, but he lives in New York. The food here is amazing.
Okay.
As the same thing like you have in some countries in Asia, you have some weird fruits,
Yes.
and the food it's really good. The meat here is amazing. So I know I'm bragging a lot of Brazil. I'm sorry
Hey,
for
that,
that,
that
but
that's what we're here for, man. We're here to talk Brazil up. So
yeah,
brag all day long, sir.
yeah,
It's all good for me. But yeah, like I know, I would probably, I could easily admit, 10 years ago. Let's say 10 years ago, like fresh out of high school. If you would ask, pull me aside, like, hey, what do you know about Brazil? I'd be just like that. Rainforest, Rio, and I don't care much for football, soccer up here. So I
yeah,
probably wouldn't mention that, but definitely that would be like a top three thing. 100%, I would probably be guilty of that.
yeah,
But in looking into it, a lot of things that I came across, I'd heard about Brazil, right, from other people because I've spoken to so many people now at this point that just solidified again how cool Brazil is and how, just like you said, how diverse. And it's not
yes,
just rainforests and whatnot,
exactly.
not just the carnival and all that kind of stuff. Is you guys have a whole bunch of different country or yeah, ethnic groups, cultures living there. Like you guys have the largest, I think it's Japanese,
Exactly.
the largest population of Japanese outside of Asia.
Yes.
And
And
that's
and yeah, and maybe Lebanese also. There's a lot of
really
Lebanese people. Yes, yes,
okay. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people from other countries come and live there, and you guys have a large portions of other individuals as well. You have a huge Italian population in
exactly.
Brazil, and
German.
right, a little bit of everything. And I want to stay on the Italian a little bit because one of the things that specifically Sao Paulo that I came across that warmed my heart. I will say it warmed my heart a little bit. And this might come off weird, but those that know me, it makes total sense. You guys eat a bunch of pizza.
Oh yeah,
See? So I have a pizza tattoo. I have pizza stuff all over this house. Absolutely love it. I have woken up, drove 2 hours just for pizza before. It's my thing. But you guys take it a bit a step further. I have it pulled up that having the largest Italian community in the country, Sao Paulo has more than 6,000 pizzerias.
yeah.
That's
Mostly
crazy.
delivery. Yeah,
Really?
and actually I make pizza at my place. And if you come to Brazil and São Paulo, you are invited to join me.
Done. Done.
Uh,
Babe, we're
I
going to
make
Brazil.
I make the dough from scratch, all the sauce and everything, and I have a small brick oven with
Yeah.
firewood, and I make it there in Brazil. It's a big event, like 20, well, it's a small event, but for my place, like 20, 25 people that come
Yeah.
to my place to have pizza.
I'm coming. Me, the wife, and my kid, we're coming. We're coming to Brazil. We're getting some
You'll
Brazilian
be
pizza,
welcome.
baby. Oh man, you just again, like I said, that to read that made me feel like I gotta bring this up because yeah, I'm reading like a over in Sao Paulo 1,000,000 pizzas a day, a
Yeah.
day. Like I've actually tried every pizzeria in my, I would say, hour drive radius around my
Okay.
house. I have checked them all off, and when one pops up, boom, there I go. So I need to try them all. I need to try them all. I would love to do that whenever. Yes, Brazil, Eduardo. You on, man. You said it. I'm gonna bring this recording in case you try to kick me
Yes.
out. Like, no,
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 no.
you said this right here. You know?
You'll be welcome. And
Oh,
it's interesting because there are some crazy shit too. You know, they they
okay.
they they mess up a little with some pizza. So, for instance, do you know stroganoff?
Yes.
Yes. So they make stroganoff pizza. They
No,
also make
no,
pizza
can't do
with
that.
rice and beans. You know, so they well, I hate those. I can't even look at those. But there are some crazy stuff also. You
Oh,
know,
for sure.
and there's one thing that's interesting is that we here in Sao Paulo we have like a rivalry with Rio.
Okay.
Okay, because we say that we work for them to go to the beach. Um,
I like
yeah,
that.
yeah, and Rio is it's amazing. You know, they
Mhm.
have a lot of problems, but the place itself and the people they are amazing. It's outstanding. I think it's the beautiful of the place when you fly and get to the airport.
Mhm.
It's amazing to see.
Right.
It's really amazing the place. But the thing is, they put a lot of ketchup on the pizza.
Oh,
Yes.
you
And
know,
this is
like
something.
I got as a kid, I have tried it. It's not terrible, but it's not something I would ever order.
Yeah,
You know, that
yeah,
it's that far.
yeah, and something that we always say when someone from some carioca, someone from Rio
Yeah.
comes shooting at my place, I say okay, but no ketchup,
Do
no
they
ketchup on my pizza.
right? Is there a large portion of individual from Poland? Is there a Polish population there?
Portugal mostly.
Because in Poland, Zepikanki is basically their favorite pizza, and it's ketchup.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, and it's I've tried it. I can't. I have tried it when I was younger. It's not terrible, but I will never order that.
no,
I
no,
will never
no.
order it.
I think that food in Rio, the place is amazing, but the food
Mhm.
in Rio is not that good. And I think that
Okay.
maybe this is a way to, you know, okay, let me just put some ketchup here and make it better. Yeah.
Would you say that might be because potentially a lot of tourists their go-to is Rio, so they kind of like westernize it, possibly?
I'm not sure because it's actually it's not in the making of the pizza, but
Hmm.
actually they put after just to eat the ketchup, you know. So
Mm.
it's like more a personal taste. So if you
Right.
put what you want and that's it. So I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's something some crazy stuff they do there.
All right. So then let me ask you, what's your go-to pizza?
The pizza the kind of pizza that I like.
Yes. Yes.
Well, lately Napolitan, so with
Okay.
a thin crust and not that much of on the toppings.
Hmm.
But I also love the traditional pizza that we have
Hmm.
here. That the dough is a little thicker, not too
Yes.
thick, but a little thicker. And the toppings, you have a little more toppings than on
Hmm.
the Napolitan. And one thing that I always do when I try some new pizzeria,
Hmm.
I always order the cheese pizza. That here in
Okay.
Brazil is mozzarella,
Right.
because I think that if they can't do a really
Yeah.
good pizza
Right.
cheese
I
pizza,
mean,
they can't do anything else. You know.
you know
So
that's fair. That's the easiest thing, and if you fail at that, who cares what else you got?
exactly,
You're
exactly. But
mine.
sorry, no, but there's one thing that we use a lot here.
Mhm.
That is something that you don't have in the United States. A different kind of cheese. It's the closest thing you got. It's cream cheese, but even
Okay.
so, it's really far. The name is catupiry. So
Catupiry.
catupiry, yes,
Okay.
and it's a Brazilian cheese. So there it doesn't it only exists here, and
Mhm.
of course they export. So in some Brazilian neighbors in the United States, you probably can get those.
Right.
It's kind of like a cream cheese. It's softer. I can't really explain, but it
Right.
goes really well with you can put that together with any meat, some sausage and ham with catupiry. It's a great topping for pizza.
Can you spell that? I'm trying to look it up. Can you spell that for me?
Catupiry. I think that's
All
it.
right. All right. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yep. And sure enough, they have it on pizzas over here.
Oh yeah.
Or not like over here, but in the pictures. Okay. All
Yeah, that's
right.
it.
All right. All right. I'm gonna look out for it. I don't know if we have a Brazilian like section in my town. Like I live in a small area in the South, so not
Okay.
a lot of international flavors going around besides more like Hispanic. I'll have to see. I will have to see. And if I can find this, I'm gonna slap this on some pizza myself.
If you can go back, just here. The one you are with the mouse in front, they stuff the border of the pizza with catupiry.
Oh yeah, stuffed crust cheese is the
Yeah,
best. Yep,
yeah,
is
very nice.
catupiry cheese a Brazilian invention? All right, that is on my list now. What about the question of questions when it comes to pizza? Pineapple.
I don't like it.
Oh man, come on,
I'm sorry.
come on, man.
I'm not a sweet and sour guy. That
Yeah,
mix well, sweet and sour. So I don't.
I
I
mean
don't.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah,
That's just more for me. That's just more for me, in my opinion.
yeah.
Because that's me. Like when I go to a new spot, I get their pineapple. And if
Oh,
that
really?
ain't good, yeah, that's my go-to. If that's not good, I don't care. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter to me.
and you may. There's a lot of places that they just refuse to do that. The pineapple is
Really?
a subject of
Yeah.
a lot of debates. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, it's my thing. And again, it's just more for me. If you don't want it, I'll take it. So outside of food, probably did like 10, 20 minutes just on pizza, which I'm cool with, but whatever. Outside of pizza, what are some other things in the time that you've grown up there, 40 plus years now, that a big change that you've seen in Brazil that you wish more people would know about? I mean, it seems like it is the fact that it's more than just a rainforest
Yeah, yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I think that the other stuff that I said, that
Mhm.
we actually work hard. I think
Right.
this is something that actually I'm getting some calls from work, and it's 8:30, and we actually work pretty hard.
Right.
And I think that one thing that it's sad, but it didn't change as much as I would like, although it
Okay.
changed a lot. And it's actually one of the main reason that sometimes I think in moving abroad, it's
Okay.
about security. This is
Right.
something that crime rates here is still really really high.
Mm.
It's sad because I have a really really good life here. I can't
Mm.
complain. But sometimes when I think about this and I think about my kids,
Right.
it's something that I'm scared to hell. To
No,
know that they
100%.
they have to go out and I can I have to say that where I live, it's much better than
Mhm.
a lot of other places.
Right.
Rio, for instance, is a place that right now I would go there if I have to go to work. I
Mhm.
would go to work and come back to Sao Paulo. I will not
Mhm.
spend a weekend in Rio right now.
Right.
And the same thing in some other really beautiful and amazing place,
Right.
because the crime rate is really scary. So this is something that it's kind of we improved a lot,
Right.
but this is something that we are still uh, behind in where
Mhm.
we should be and we have to be, to actually bring more tourists also,
Right.
because it's not it's still missing a lot of improvement yet.
I mean, I'm pretty sure anyone listening who has a family is might not have one themselves, but you're part of a family. you want your family to be safe. You know,
Yeah,
I'm a father, I'm a husband as well. So definitely, if I was in a situation, you want no matter what your family to be safe above all else, above even yourself when it comes down to
yeah,
it. If you don't mind me asking,
sure.
and if we get into any subject that you're not comfortable, understand, just let me know, and we'll pass on from that. What do you see is holding the country back in furthering safety?
I think that this is something that I say for a long time,
Mhm.
that if a genius comes out of the lamp and I have just one wish to
Right.
fix Brazil, I would say that I would end impunity, you know,
Okay.
because
Yes.
people here, they just do stuff because they don't get punished, you
Right.
know. And I'm not saying the necessarily that role, you know. It's
Mhm.
just to
Mhm.
actually pay for what you do. And this is something that it's even worse because it bothers us, because we try to live a good life and
Mhm.
do what's right, you know, regardless. It's the right, and then we try to do what's the
Right.
right thing to do. And then you have to pay for people that doesn't do that. And I'm not saying just mostly not about the actual robbers,
Mhm.
but I think that mostly our politicians,
Mhm.
because we have a really bad cases of corruption here. I don't know
Right.
if you heard of the car wash investigation and
Mhm.
the petrol investigation. So for the last 10 years, we have, for instance, we have arrested a former president
I've
on
I've
base
heard a
of,
few things of that,
yes,
but not much.
yes. And so this is actually improving and
Mhm.
changing. And I think that technology is helping on that
Right.
side to get things straight. Sorry. But the problem is that, you know, most politicians here, they don't even care
Mhm.
to trace an actual plan to improve anything. You
Right.
know, they just want to get elected,
Mhm.
to help their peers,
Right.
and make business with providers, whatever companies providing services to the government.
Mhm.
And then, well, as I said, it's changing. So in the last 10
Right.
years, we had this car wash operation. And that is like, the name is because it started when they were investigating some people sending dollars abroad, and
Mhm.
they used to meet in a car wash
Mhm.
station, you know, and then it was the car wash investigation. But it you know, it blew out of proportion, and
Right.
now we had one president arrested and several uh, state ministers and
Mhm.
governors, mayors, and politicians as a whole, even businessmen also. The owner, the principal family member of
Mhm.
the biggest company in Brazil, that is Odebrecht. They actually
Mhm.
do some business in the United States.
Okay.
He was arrested, and it's something that it was unimaginable to see something like that happen like
Right.
10 years ago. So
Mhm.
things are changing, but it's a slow process. You
Right.
see,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's really hard. And what happens that these guys, first, we have a lot of state-owned companies,
Mhm.
and most of them lose money year after year. But they are a place where you can put your friends to work and make a lot of money,
Mhm.
you know. And that's why what most of the politicians here they do, and
Mhm.
they are chasing when they actually try to get elected. And so we spend a lot of money on these companies that should be privatized by the thinking of most people here in Brazil.
Right.
And besides that, a lot of projects that they only they just create the project like big infrastructure projects like dams and roads, just to get the money back from the people that
Right.
supported them on the election.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, it's sad because we have so much potential. Now we have the technology we need to move forward. We have a really good people here, hardworking people,
Mm-hmm.
and then we got stuck because of those guys.
Right.
So this is crazy. But
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
that's sorry.
no. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, no, I think that's it. I think that this is it. I think our government is the biggest problem right now. And there's a lot of reforms that we have to do, and they just don't care. They just pass the laws that it's better for them.
I think it's probably safe to say that's definitely a worldwide thing. You give a human power, a person power, they're not going to want to give it up. And if you're running for a position in politics or whatever, yeah, obviously you're not going to come out and say I'm doing this for me to better myself and my people. No, you're gonna play put on a face,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm trying to make all you guys happy. All you and my family, blah blah blah. But sometimes that happens. A lot of countries are guilty of that. I mean, you could argue my country is kind of going that route potentially right now, and we're battling that currently as we speak. But it seems you guys have made good changes. It's sad though, just like that, you have a group that put a blemish on the progress that has been made. And it's like, was it one step forward, two steps back? Sometimes it
Yeah.
seems. I would hope, especially how would definitely assume that there are other numerous individuals like yourself in Brazil as a whole that think the same, that want Brazil to be on top and do better. Because again, I mean, I don't see how anybody wants bad things to happen for anybody.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like the person, come on now. So hopefully in the future, you're not forced to have to move out of the country that is yours and
Yeah.
everything gets better. I would like to see that because, again, if I come down to get some pizza and you've moved out, where do I go? Where do I go, Eduardo? I don't know.
Yeah, you only have like 6,000 places to go here in Sao Paulo.
But I want Eduardo pizza.
That's fine.
So, had to try and like spin that into something lighthearted and get a laugh out, So what are your hobbies, if you don't mind me asking?
Actually, I have a few.
Okay.
I like to try stuff, So right now, actually, I'm barely leaving home because of the pandemic.
Right.
But my last thing is skating. I don't know, is inline skating.
Okay.
This is my last thing. Yeah. But I have right here. I've played a lot with photography, and I like that a lot. And I have a bow and arrow also that I like to play sometimes. I don't like football, and that is something that is really unusual for a Brazilian.
I would agree.
Yeah, I like D&D. I read a lot, and I try to do stuff. I like bicycling. I do actually 4x4 rallies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that I like to do. There's one thing that actually I'm actually doing the step forward like for some time now to make that more of a business than a hobby. A hobby that is cheese. I love cheese, and yeah, and I have.
Hey man, yes.
I have actually a website that I talk about cheese. I'm probably making later early next year kind of a monthly signature subscription to
Okay.
receive artisan cheese at your place.
Yeah.
So you have like, I'm not good in US measurements, but like a kilogram or half a kilogram
Yeah.
of cheese monthly at your place. Only artisan cheese,
Uh-huh.
selected artisan cheese. So this is one thing that it's really big for me. I've sold some cheese in the past, and I'm trying to make this a business, let's say.
All right. Well, that's a lot to unpack. So bear with me here. Definitely want to get to the cheese because I love cheese as well. How could you not? You like D&D. You don't care for football, which is soccer
Yeah,
for American listeners.
exactly.
I feel that because from here in the South, I don't care for American football.
Okay.
And it's huge in my area. It's like, oh man, when it comes on, like production in at workplaces goes down 100%. And it's aggravating because I'm like, it's a freaking game. You got so I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure plenty of Brazilians down there. If their team doesn't win,
Oh
it's
yes,
madness at times, right?
exactly.
Right. Oh man, God, I've seen other countries that like Italy or Spain that go ballistic if their team doesn't win. It's
Yeah,
whoa, that is some passionate, at times crazed people.
exactly. It's like a religion here. For some
Yes.
people, it's like a religion. It's amazing what they do for the team they support.
Yes. And D&D. What got you into D&D, if you don't mind me asking? For those, that's Dungeons and Dragons, correct?
Exactly.
Right.
It's interesting because something it's a taste that I acquired like the last 3 years. It's not
Really?
something that I played like when I was young or something
Yeah.
like that. I always liked this kind of world with medieval
Mm-hmm.
and warriors and adventures. I love to read the Bernard Cornwell and
Okay.
his tales, and uh, I actually started last week to read Lord of the Rings,
Right. Okay.
that I didn't have the opportunity before, and I was actually trying to find some activities to do with my son,
Right.
and then I said, well, it might be interesting. And I
Okay.
started I bought the books, the D&D books, and I started follow some podcasts about
Mm-hmm.
D&D. And I actually ran. I ran one game that I used to play every Monday,
Okay.
and for almost a year. One adventure that I run with some friends from all around Brazil, and the guys that I never met in person, the guys that I just met on the over the internet, and we played for over a year.
All
So
right.
it was really really interesting, and I was actually the dungeon master for that game.
Okay. Well, I've never played D&D. I know about it. I like you. I love that fantasy world.
Yeah.
Medieval dragons, all this stuff's awesome, right? Do you like coffee? I know coffee's big down there as well.
And that's another one that
Okay.
I'm
Hey,
out.
well, no, I don't either. I do not either. The reason I ask is because you like D&D, you like reading, you like all that kind of stuff, but you don't like coffee, right? But you also travel pretty
Yeah.
frequently. Have you ever been to Bahrain in the Middle East?
No.
Okay. Put that on your list at some point. And I'm gonna let you know why. Two days ago, I want to say, I had a podcast with a Sergio from over there in Bahrain, originally from Lebanon.
Okay.
He has a coffee shop in Bahrain. Lover of D&D. He owns a coffee shop. He does not like coffee.
Oh, really?
Exactly, right? I don't either. So, I would love to go there. And this is his shop.
Whoa, that's nice.
really, really cool. Oh crap! Whole bunch of stuff's happening. They have D&D tournaments. They have just stuff around that type of feel and vibe.
That is really nice.
Yes, he is a cool guy. He has his own podcast, Paradigm Shift podcast. I don't know if he talks about his whole D&D love, but he is a awesome guy to talk to. I can hook you up with him if you want to talk to him more
That'd be great.
and get
Sure.
the feel, because he is really cool, really passionate
Oh,
about
Call of
this.
Cthulhu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So that's his thing. You want to make a business out of cheese, something you love. He has made a business out of what he loves, so he might
this
be
is
able to help
nice.
you with that as well. Cool, really, really down to earth guy. Totally recommend if you ever go there, Ravens Net. Let him know I sent you.
Oh, sure.
So cheese, though, I want to get on to the passion. I felt the passion. I saw the
Oh, yeah,
passion.
yeah.
Have you ever made cheese yourself?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I did some. I actually did some professional training,
Yeah.
and I the harder thing to do to make cheese here in São Paulo is to get raw milk,
Okay.
or
Okay.
even slow pasteurized milk,
Okay.
because you don't have that here. It's the source of the milk is it's really really hard to get here in São Paulo. But I made some cheese at my
Mhm.
place here, and try some mozzarella and
Right.
some harder cheese here. It's like magic. I think
Really?
it's really interesting, because it's a transformation from some. You just take the liquid part of
Right.
the milk and have only the solids, and even after that, when you have a fresh cheese, and you ripen it, you age it,
Mhm.
the transformation is it's crazy. It's amazing what it becomes. So I think it's kind of magic cheese. It's really nice.
Well, I mean, that's awesome. Anytime anyone can make a career, make a business out of something that they enjoy, more power to them. A lot of people
Yeah,
don't get that luxury, So if you're able to do that, and I hope you do, let me know. I like cheese.
sure.
I'll buy some cheese from you, man. I'll
That'd be
buy some
great.
cheese from you. Um, so those are your hobbies, or a good bit of your hobbies. I want to get back to a little bit more of Brazil culture.
Sure.
In terms of Sao Paulo, you got Rio. What's like a hidden gem of Brazil that doesn't get the notoriety that you feel it deserves?
It's interesting, because actually I I have to say that I have to say that I think that for leisure I travel more abroad than in Brazil, and this
Okay.
is
Okay.
this is a shame, and I want to correct that.
Right.
But there are some places like Lençóis Maranhenses
Mhm.
in Maranhão, in the north. That is it's just amazing. The Pantanal, actually, I don't know if you heard about it, but it's a swamp area. Well, it's not a small area. It's like it's a whole state that is kind of a swamp, and
Uh-huh.
you have like amazing places to dive, and the
Okay.
nature.
I think I got it. Give me 1 second. Is that it?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. That's it. And then
Okay.
you have one specific city there that is
Bonito.
Bonito, that translates to beautiful, and
All right.
it holds up to the name.
Right.
It's an amazing place. So I think that Brazil has a lot of uh, natural
Okay.
Neto. Sorry, Nei. I spelled it wrong. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
it's
it.
fine. We're there. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. All right. Yep.
yeah.
That.
So it's amazing,
Wow.
and
And
very few
you've been
people.
there?
Unfortunately, no.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Oh
And
wow.
and let me tell you one thing
What's
that
up?
it's crazy. There's one time that my ex-wife wanted to travel to a place in the Northeast,
Mm-hmm.
a beach place,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was cheaper for us to go skiing in Chile than to go to the Northeast in Brazil. Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yeah, it sounds
I get.
crazy,
Yeah, right.
you know. So and this is one thing that sometimes holds me back on traveling to
Right.
Brazil because
Yeah.
it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you don't if you don't have the correct information, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
you may have some really bad services.
Okay.
You know, it's Brazil. Brazilian tourist infrastructure has to improve also. You know, so
Okay.
there are some places that you go that it's too expensive and it doesn't pay off.
All
You
right.
know, um, and so that I think that I, more than once I changed my plans. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of traveling to Brazil, I travel abroad. In the south, there is one. Actually, there are two small cities that they are really close. That is Gramado and Canela.
Okay.
Um, they they are in in a region where you have a lot of German descendants.
Oh
So
wow. Yeah. Okay. I can look at it from the first pictures. You can
yeah,
see the German influence.
exactly. And
Wow.
so this place is amazing. And one thing that it's nice is that they are actually prepared to receive tourists. You know,
Yeah.
and
Wow. Cause yeah,
yeah,
like in if I just pulled up this picture to a regular American, I would guarantee 99 would never say it was in Brazil.
yeah. So
That's wow.
it's another really nice place. This is a stone church,
Yeah.
and if you go down, you may find a lake
A lake.
that is
Okay.
the black lake or dark lake. Here you have a waterfall that's it's
Yes.
really nice also.
Oh yeah, man.
And so and
That's
this is a really beautiful place. Oh, this is the lake.
right here. Oh,
Just yeah, this is a small one. This is the lake. Yeah, the picture is really bad, but
right.
yeah. But it's a place that you can easily go, and you know that you have a really nice service, and you
Mhm.
know that the place is beautiful and people is prepared to receive tourists. So this is another
That's
place that
wow.
I would suggest a lot to visit if you have the opportunity to come to Brazil to the south.
Mhm. Yeah, that's wild because man, that does not look like the Brazil that I would assume most outside of Brazil would think.
Yeah,
That is so
yeah,
unique that immigrants that came there made it their own and are very doing very well. It seems very vibrant culture. You know, because I know happens here quite often, more so now. It might just be, you got that loud minority that you hear a lot, but God forbid, like an immigrant comes to America, which that's how our country was freaking made, like go back to your home. But you see here, again, you have the largest population of Japanese people outside of Asia, huge German culture, obviously, huge, like you can name probably five other ones off the top of your head, I'm sure, that have gone there, made it their own, and are doing really well with, I would hope, not much of a backlash from the other individuals because this town looks pretty dang cool and
yeah.
well put together. I don't know exactly where I'm going with that, but it makes sense in my head, I guess. I don't know.
And there's one thing that I may be wrong about that, but
Mhm.
one feeling that I got traveling to the United States and
Okay.
actually and also uh, to England
Mhm.
is that what I feel is that there is a lot of immigrants, but they don't. Most some of them or a lot of them they don't actually mix with the local population.
Mhm.
So you see a lot of people, even the garments, the clothes that they use, that it's more, it looks more from where they came from than
Right.
from the country where they live.
Mhm.
And so I saw that in New York and other
Oh
places,
yeah.
that you can definitely say that that guy is Pakistanis or
Right.
came from different places. Here in Brazil, this is really hard to see.
Really.
Most people when they come here, they get mixed up, and then unless you are talking about some specific celebration days that they wear
Oh yeah.
garments and
Oh yeah.
clothes from where they come, but usually you cannot tell from where they came.
Mhm. Mhm.
And this is one other interesting fact, that the Brazilian passport in the past, because now it improved its security, but in the
Mhm.
past it was really valuable in the dark market, in black market.
Really.
Yes, because the security was poor, so it was easy to counterfeit it,
Mhm.
and you can put whatever picture you want in a Brazilian passport, and they would say, "Okay, this look like a Brazilian," because
It was a little bit of everybody.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you can put a Japanese guy,
Yeah.
a black guy, whatever, and
Right.
you can tell that they are, or if they are or they are not Brazilian. And
Yeah, and
so it was valuable in the black market for counterfeit and stuff like that.
yeah, and I mean, if you think about it nowadays, a lot of big countries, big developed or developing countries, that's how it is anyways. You
Yeah,
know, it really is like obviously America's known whole bunch of immigrants. You know, that's how we started. But again, you go over to all the places you visited over in Europe, you were seeing people from all over. I'm sure. You
yeah,
know, at this point in time in where we are as a planet with travel, air travel, all that kind of stuff. Everybody's everywhere.
exactly.
Everybody has the ability to go everywhere. So you're gonna find a Japanese person in Brazil, in Mexico. You can find a Mexican or a Brazilian in China or India. That's going to happen. He doesn't look like he's from here. Doesn't matter. He might be. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
because I know the Scottish individual I spoke with, a lady named Safina. She's like fourth generation Indian, right? Or excuse
Okay.
me, she's fourth generation Scottish, but that other generation, like great, I can't remember how far, actually immigrated from India. And they have a very noticeable or large Indian population as well over there in Scotland. In fact, they are credited with inventing chicken tikka masala. Scottish people are the
Oh,
Scottish
that's
Indian,
nice.
right? Yeah. Because they just have such a large population of Indians over there. So she traveled here to America. She looks like you would assume an Indian would look like, right? With a thick Scottish accent. And she said, I think she traveled to California at one point, and people asking her, "Hey, where are you from?" or just striking up a conversation, and they were like taken aback. They were looking at this woman who dark complected, like she was from India, speaking a very heavy Scottish accent,
That should
and
be interesting.
right? I ain't gonna lie. And Safina, I know you watch all my videos, and I think I've told you this. I was curious as well because I was watching. I was like, okay, where is she from? But she cleared it up, and I don't mean any offense, Safina. If, I'm sorry, I don't. Um, but she got asked the same thing. But she got asked the wrong thing. Whereas I would have just asked it once. She got, no, but where really are you? You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the part that's like, all right, like you had your fun, you know what I'm saying? And like for her, it's her parents born and raised in Scotland, her grandparents born and raised. She is full blooded Scottish, but yeah, her ancient or not ancient, but ancestors came from somewhere else. But she got that. No, but really, where you from? That's where people go too far. That's
Exactly.
where people go too
Exactly.
far. You know, you can look one way and still be from wherever. You know. Ah. So, all right, Eduardo, this has been great. Actually, one other thing I want to ask you:
Sure.
music. I've been on a music kick here recently, especially from other countries. What's your favorite music, Brazilian wise, anyways?
Rock. Brazilian rock.
Okay,
Rock. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Favorite band from Brazil?
Legião Urbana.
Whoa. Okay. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
Yes. It'll be
Can you?
like Urban Legion in English, but Legião Urbana.
And they're from Brazil, you say?
Yes, they're actually from the capital, from Brasilia.
Okay. All right. I think I got him. I'm about to pull it up. Let me know if I am right.
It's sad
Boom.
because the main singer, yeah, that's the guy. The
Okay.
problem is that the main singer, he died
Oh.
from AIDS like
Mm.
20 years ago. You know,
Okay. Okay.
and still it's a huge success. You know, it's
Hmm.
they sing. They have a lot of songs, protest songs, you know, and talking
Okay.
about politics and stuff like
Right.
that. And it's interesting because it's that kind of music that you listen today and you say, okay, this guy wrote that yesterday or today. You
Right.
know, you can't say it wrote that like 20, 25 years ago. You know,
Yes.
because it's
Yes.
so actual. It's so nowadays. You know,
Right.
it's not something that and this is interesting on one side, and it's sad to realize that maybe the same problems we had in like 25 years ago,
Right.
we still have the same problems, you know. So this is the sad part of the of realizing how updated that songs that they are.
Yeah, you definitely get that. You know, like the phrase, you know, history repeats itself. You
Yeah.
know, and you definitely say that because, like, for up here, my favorite, I would guess, political rock band you would say was Rage Against the Machine.
Yep.
And you listen to some of their tracks, and they haven't been around as a group really for close to 20 years now. I want to say maybe 15. But depending on what song you play, it hits for what's going on
Yeah,
today if you
it's
listen
crazy.
to it. And yeah, that happens a lot. Like even you go back with Creedence Clearwater Revival from the 80s, I want to say, with their Vietnam tracks or whatnot. You know, you still get like, oh, okay. I see exactly what they're talking about, right? In today's culture to an extent. It is funny how that happens. It definitely
Yeah,
is funny
yeah,
how that happens. But thank you once again, Eduardo. This has been great. I hope you enjoyed
yeah,
talking as well. I would love to stay in contact if you're okay with that. Because again, I want some cheese whenever you get that going, and I got to get some pizza at some point whenever
yeah.
I bring the
Yes,
family
sir.
down. So, Eduardo, if you have anything you want to promote, I don't know if you have your own podcast. You have a lot going on. I know that you. This man, I don't know if you've paid attention really, but this man does a lot. So, if you have anything you want to promote or express, last words are all yours, sir.
No, I'm fine. I don't think I'm promoting anything right now. But thank you for the opportunity. I think it was really interesting, and I always like to. I talk a lot, and I like to
Okay.
talk to to meet new people. And if whatever you need here in Brazil, you can count on me. And it was really nice to talk to you also.
Well, I appreciate it. And again, everybody, Eduardo's from Brazil. He's baking some cheese at some point. Whenever you get that, I would love to have you back on. And I mean, Brazil is so big.
Yeah.
obviously we didn't touch on even a small fraction of what Brazil has to offer. So I would love to have you back again at some time, talk more about Brazil, talk more about really whatever you want to talk about, man. I enjoyed this, and you have yourself a good rest of your night down there.
Thank you very much. The same for you and the family.
Yes, yours as well, sir.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.